All right, here's the deal, guys. It's Mike. Our Patreon numbers have stagnated. Let me make a little deal. Let me make a little deal with you guys. We get 6 new Patreon subscribers by Friday. I will put I'll put 5 recipes on the Patreon.
Wow.
Five authentic Italian homemade pasta, chicken, whatever you want, whatever recipes you request. I'll put 5 up there if we get 6 Patreon subscribers. All right.
Okay.
You don't turn down this offer. You'd be an idiot. You'd be an idiot not to do it.
Okay. And that's only $5 a month, right?
Yeah. You can have some of Matt's mother's recipe, maybe for like a mayonnaise sandwich or something, or like whatever she feeds her. Whatever she feeds your siblings.
Whatever Midwestern cuisine.
Yeah, whatever your sister feeds her 9 kids that are born out of wedlock. No offense, but I mean, I'm just saying.
Taken, right?
I'm just saying facts. And also please subscribe on iTunes. Rate us
5 stars.
Rate us as many stars you want. Who gives a shit? We just want the ratings.
No.
And
5 stars.
All right, rate us 5 stars.
Yeah, and all the links are in the description.
Also, coming up, I got some road dates with Adam Friedland, March 23rd to 26th. 23rd's a Friday. We're doing 2 shows in Chicago, hopefully.
It's not on your calendar.
No, it's not on my calendar, but it'll be on there eventually. We're doing Chicago, Milwaukee, Eau Claire, and Minneapolis on Monday. So please come by. Ticket link. Check Adam's Twitter. I don't know. It'll be up. No, check my Twitter. There's a link in my Twitter. For the Chicago shows, we'll get the Milwaukee shows up soon. And let's start the show. We have a guest that I'm very excited about. You know, Matt and I, a lot of times we talk about. Wait, let me start this fancy timer here, folks. Matt and I, a lot of times we talk about.
I got my notes out and I'm ready to go.
Look, the show fucking sucks. Okay, we hate this.
We hate doing it. We hate driving to each other's houses.
We hate driving to each other's houses. I mean, you would be so lucky to come here. You should be coming to my house and taking notes on.
What do you think I'm doing? Right, you're looking at me.
On how? Yeah. Okay. Good.
All right.
But you know, it's like we fucking hate it. We get it. These wops kill each other. You know, we got to research every week. But today I think we're doing a show that I'm really passionate and excited to talk about. And my guest today is the host of a podcast that I really enjoy. She's got a podcast. It's called Dude Talks to a Lady. She interviews male comics about their bits that are about women or about sex or whatever. I've done it twice. It's a lot of fun. And the best part about her podcast, honestly, I got to say, it's half an hour. It's not this hour-long bullshit. You can knock them out. You know what? I'm going to say, if you can't do your podcast in under a half an hour, you should fucking kill yourself. Your show is shit. Anyway, I'm excited to have her here. We're talking to Janet Hyde today.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for a warm welcome.
Thanks for stopping into the garage. I like to think we're still going to be recording here, even if the show takes off.
Yeah.
It'll be some family. It'll be some family living here.
Can I just throw this out there? I didn't realize that you hated doing an hour so much.
I don't hate doing an hour. It's just I'm fucking sick of the show.
I mean, you're pretty in control of this situation,
yeah,
aren't you?
Me?
You could dial it back if you wanted.
No, but then it's like
the
you
fans
can't.
might not
because
follow you, though.
There'd be an uprising.
You don't understand. These people that listen to our show,
Yeah.
they're lonely.
This is all they've got.
They're lonely,
Yeah.
sad fucks.
Yeah.
And they need content.
They're great.
starved for
Dude,
content.
there are people following my Twitch. GayDad420XXX. Thanks. He's subscribed. He's paying me $250 a month.
No, the people who listen to this show, Janet, they're stuck on trucks all day. They're bricklayers. They need something to not kill their boss.
Well, if they want to hop over for some shorter content, you know, I've got a lot of dudes.
Well, that's what's nice about your show. I mean, I've done it twice, and you sit there, you come in, you talk, you say, and before you know it, it's over.
I keep it snappy.
Yeah, it's like Methodist church. It's like, it's like the opposite of shitty Catholic church, which fucking sucks.
No mass.
Yeah, it's it's like Janet's podcast is like the cool young pastor comes out. He's got gray hair, but he's like 37.
Right, and you know that there's no sexual allegations against him
because he's married. He's got a cute wife.
He's just cheating on his wife.
Yeah, probably.
Very consensually.
Probably.
At least now with boys. Little choir boys.
Right. See, if you just let the Catholic priests get married to women, they'd stop fucking boys. Right? Did you have any...
I think it's a separate issue, but I think that Catholic priests should be able to get married.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think there's a lot of gay priests that don't molest children.
I think that's
they should be able to get married too.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's just what you did when you were gay in the 50s. And,
I think those have always been separate things. I'm going to go to the church
because I'm married to God.
Oh no, for sure. I mean, for sure. There was like an explosive article and book recently about like how
we might have covered it on the show.
75%
of priests
like but like not just priests, but like high level in the Vatican. It's like they're all gay. And like Pope, somewhat openly.
What about Pope Francis?
I think he is not, but he's trying to be like, let's not be a bunch of fucking hypocrites, dude.
Let's
be okay with gay people at least a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Wait, let's think of all the popes that we've had in our lifetime and figure out if they're gay.
Well, the thing is JP2 and Benedict were like very against like the circles they run in.
You say JP2 like you're
Wait,
like
are you
raised
guys
Catholic?
both Catholic?
I was an altar girl.
Okay.
Okay,
I was Protestant.
I've got all the cred.
Matt's church was like a split level ranch that you drive by on the highway, and you go, "Oh, okay, I guess that's where." Hey, you can worship anywhere.
Yeah. My like understanding of the Pope was Euro Trip. You know, where they burned the hat. I'm like, oh, they got a new Pope.
Right. Great. You're not Italian though, right?
I'm Italian partly.
Okay.
I'm Irish and Italian.
You're Irish and Italian. And Greek.
Okay. I just went to my grandmother's Greek Orthodox funeral recently.
Oh,
they really go on for a long time.
Wait, you just she died recently? I didn't know that. It's a bummer.
She was 98 years old.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
good.
Yeah.
It's a good run.
It's a good long
it's a good run, but it still sucks. Yeah.
She wasn't doing great. She was ready to go.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear. Yeah. She's in heaven with Kevin Barnett. They're chilling out, smoking weed, and watching dinosaur videos together. I'm sorry, that's just how I grieve. Anyway, one thing I do want to say before we get into the show, the bulk of the show, Matt, I want to plug this in, is that I think we've talked about this before, but Catholic Church is very like fascistic in a way. You know, it's like there's ranks, there's it's about respect.
Sure.
It's about you can't talk to the Father that way.
A lot of ritual and rules and sure.
It's people who are mean and like that's I guess they like that structure and that order.
There's a lot of structure.
But you've talked about this on your show. Aren't Catholics are like? Did you go to Catholic school?
I did not go to Catholic school. I went to regular school.
Okay.
But you know, I went to church every Sunday. I was an altar girl. It was something that like my parents are both pretty religious.
Did you want to be an altar girl, or did you?
I think I did. I was a goody two shoes kid, so I was like, sign me up for all the things. And then my real innovation was when I was in high school. We had to do like youth ministry. It was like volunteer stuff that you had to do, and I became the first youth lector. So there's somebody like a lay person that comes up and reads from the Bible in the beginning, and it's just anybody who can read well. And I was like, ooh, let me do that. And then I was able to count the hour of mass as community service because I'm an innovator.
Very nice.
And I was like, if I gotta go to church, I might as well be on stage. So that was what I did.
Nice. My grandmother passed away 2 years ago. She was very Catholic, and I wanted to say something at her funeral. And my dad was like, "Well, I mean, if you're going to speak in church, the priest has to approve it." And I'm just like, "Fuck, this sucks. This organization sucks." If it was Matt's church, the guy would have let me like use puppets, play guitar, you know, like whatever. Yeah,
100%.
Do a backflip, bring out some.
Especially if it's like a mass, then
that's true. Yeah,
there's not a lot of wiggle room there.
There's not a lot of wiggle room. But my cousins went up and did like Bible readings. And I'm like, what is this? I had some stories.
Gotta grease the wheels.
Well, I had some stories about the time she picked me up because I had to poop. She picked me up from school and took me home so I could take a shit in my house.
Wow, that's love.
Yeah.
Just picturing him trying to get this story approved by some priest or cardinal.
Yeah. Hey, you don't fucking tell me. Who are you, pal? Yeah, but what the hell was I going to say? Catholic Mass. Yeah, I wanted to do that, and I didn't get to.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right. What are you going to do? What's so great about the Bible? That's what I wanted to say. There's nothing in there. It's all crap.
It's all just a bunch of words.
Yeah. Well, here's what I want to talk about. So a big part, this is a mafia podcast.
I've heard.
Yeah. A big part of the mafia is something. It's gender roles. It's it's a very rigid structure of guys do this, ladies do that, and we're gonna talk about that and talk about if it's a good way to live your life. Do you have a clip for us?
I wonder what I'll think.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a clip or what are we?
I do have a clip.
Okay.
This is. Have you seen Sopranos?
I actually just started watching the first season recently. So I've seen some of it.
Okay. What episode are you on? Because season 1's a little slow.
I've been my roommate's watching it. I've been kind of like coming in and out, so I watched like the middle chunk of the first season. Okay. I'm waiting for Carmela's part to get more interesting.
Oh yeah, it will.
It seems like it should.
Yeah.
She had a fun little sleepover with a priest.
Yeah.
In an episode that I saw.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is not how you. I can do a pretty good Edie Falco, but I can't think of anything to say. Tony. I did think about if they did it today, there'd probably be an episode of like Carmela and Meadow fighting about Brett Kavanaugh, and her being like, "You don't, all men are this way," and Meadow's like, "You're fucking ridiculous," and then Tony's like, "Everybody drank and I can't do a Gandolfini."
Who's your least favorite
character on Sopranos? Yeah. I'll tell you who it is. I think it's Paulie Walnuts. I think he's a piece of shit. I think he's a fucking dumb piece of garbage.
Forgive him for shooting that waiter.
Okay, spoiler alert. I don't like the people like him. I think he's a scumbag.
Okay.
But aren't they all scumbags? Isn't that kind of the point?
Yeah.
But Paulie is so bad that he jumps. I feel like he jumps the shark a bunch. He does a lot of and he's supposed to be like the funny comic relief. And
he's pretty chill in the first couple of seasons.
He's pretty
I don't think I know which one he is. But
he's the guy with the silver streaks in his hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, he's supposed to be the comic relief, but then they end up making him do some of the worst stuff in the show. But I don't like him. Who's your least favorite?
So far, I think it's got to be one of the kids like Meadow or AJ.
Yeah, everybody says that.
Yeah.
But I think
probably AJ just because.
I mean, there's a guy in the show who can we spoil it?
Of course.
Okay.
I do not care.
There's a guy in the show who
it's like they do crimes. They're a family that do crimes. He probably dies at the end, but we're not sure.
So if you want to talk about who's the worst person in that show, there is a guy in the show who gets a stripper pregnant and then he beats her to death because she mouths off to him.
That's
which is
very bad.
It's very bad. Yeah, I'm not arguing
on the record.
We're not here to debate. We're not here to debate.
That has been settled. He is very bad for that. But
however, at least with that, there's she's sort of connected to the world. She's sort of involved. And also I don't know. Yeah, it's bad. Okay, I'm not justifying Ralph doing that. And he's a bad guy. But then there's another, but at least she's sort of connected to the world. She works for these guys and she knows what she's sort of getting into. There's an episode where the guys go to Atlantic City and Paulie makes Christopher, Tony's nephew, pay for the meal. And then he doesn't have enough to tip, so he leaves $16 on an $1,100 check. Not cool. Yeah, and the waiter confronts him and he's like, "Was there a problem with the service?" He's like, "'Cause you didn't." And Christopher's like, "I'm tapped out." He's like, "Go away, you're gonna get hurt." And the guy's like, "You think this job's easy? Why don't you go piss it away in blackjack?" And sorry. Anyway, long story short, he walks away. Paulie throws a rock at him. He has a seizure and they don't know what to do and they shoot him. So to me, that was I hated those guys forever. And you know what? That's not what being a man is all about. Let me tell you what being a man really is about. All right. So let's talk. So we're gonna talk a little about gender roles. Now I think this is I have a clip ready. This is
a clip from The Sopranos.
Yeah, and it's ready. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much it's ready. Yeah, pretty much the only clips we play are
okay.
But here's sort of the most basic representation of.
Read the check, please. The young man took care of it.
Meadow's boyfriend.
Oh.
Paid for dinner.
Is he present?
Yeah.
Okay.
You paid the check?
I figured since you're always so, generous, I should reciprocate.
You're lucky you don't get your head handed to you.
Dad.
Let's get something straight. You eat, I pay.
Mr. Soprano.
But when you have your own family, you pay.
This is the clip that guys share in like a group and like, that's right. Nobody's paying for my baby girl's food.
What a strange thing.
What?
To be concerned about.
Yes and no. I mean, there's something about like men being providers that do you think that's important?
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing. I mean, I remember when I was a kid and we would go out with my grandmother and my mom and my aunts. They would all fight over the check in a way that was absurd and really annoying to me as a kid because it would just like they would always do it.
Yeah.
Just
Just
always
take
take up time. It would always end the same way.
Oh, with your grandma paying?
No, with my mom paying
Okay.
because or
Yeah.
like splitting it with my grandmother. But it was like for me, I have complicated feelings about like who should pay.
Okay.
Sometimes because on
Let's
the
hear
one
it.
hand, I am a cheap person. So
Right.
if somebody wants to pay for me, I say yes, thank you.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
However, I have no expectation that somebody should pay for me as a woman on a
Mhm.
date or anything.
I think you should.
You think I should have that expectation?
Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't have any. If somebody feels strongly about it, I will absolutely let them pay for me.
Yeah.
I am not the kind of feminist that's like affronted by that. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
cool, sure. If this matters to you and you can afford, if you can afford it.
Yeah.
If you were like, if I knew that you were broke and you were doing this as some macho bullshit thing, then I would be pissed off.
Mm.
But for me, it's just like whoever, if somebody cares more and can afford it, cool. Like
Yeah.
I had a boyfriend a while back that I lived with who made a lot more money than I did.
Mhm.
And so he paid for everything and it was fine. And it was
That's like all of my
comfortable.
relationships too.
But like,
Yeah.
like I would
Groceries.
buy groceries and cook and stuff like that. But if we were
Yeah.
out,
Same.
he
Same.
paid.
Same.
And
Same.
like
Janet.
we lived together and he paid a higher percentage of the rent because he made like 3 times more money than I did. And it would have been
What did he do?
stupid. He was a
Yeah.
computer programmer.
Okay.
So like that made sense.
Yeah.
But if I was in a relationship where we're like contributing equally,
Yeah.
then I think it makes sense for us to contribute equally. But yeah, I mean, I like it when people buy me things
Yeah.
because I don't want to spend my own money because I'm a cheap person,
Right.
but not because I'm a woman.
Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
also, I mean, how about a first date though? I mean, if usually the guy's doing the one who's like asking
Yeah.
the girl
You'd
out.
like to, but yeah.
The kind of guys I go on dates with are
Can I get you go on dates with?
not the kind of guys that feel very strongly about this.
Yeah.
In my experience,
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a very elaborate ritual where I would like take my wallet out and like hold it like at the table and so that they could be like, no, I got it. And then
Yeah,
it like
yeah.
I would like leave it there long enough that I'm like, okay, they're not gonna shoo it away. All right, fine. And then I'd like open it and like start anyway.
Just
Yeah.
slowly
Like,
put a 20 out.
And then I was like, all
another
right,
one.
this is stupid. If I'm just gonna pay. And like
Yeah.
if they want to refuse it, they can, but I'm gonna just
What if they
For the-
just
for the
let
whole
you pay
check?
for the entire meal?
I wouldn't offer to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Right,
in the
right.
same way that I don't expect anyone to pay for me, I certainly do not expect to pay for anybody
Right.
else.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you can feel the date not going anywhere, and you're just like, let's split it.
Right. That's the thing. It's like
Cut your
I don't
losses.
think somebody owes buying me drinks
Mhm.
at our first neutral meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
If they're like trying to flex and show off, all right, fine.
I think that's a
cool,
funny
but-
thing to picture is just like two people slowly paying like for a date. You're both like unsure about like
Yeah.
where this is gonna go.
But there have been times where very infrequently, because again, most of the time the dudes I'm going out with are not this type of dude.
Yeah.
Like, but there were 1 or 2 dates where it was like we like went. He took me to a show, and then like we went out for drinks afterwards. And he
This is like a first date.
it was a first date, and he spent like
kind of show?
It was Drunk Shakespeare. So it's like
Yeah.
an off-Broadway show, and I looked up how much the tickets were after the fact. It was like
Uh-huh.
a lot of money.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then like we had drinks at the show, and then we went out for food afterwards. And he like paid for. He must spent
$200
easily
bucks.
a couple $100.
Yeah.
And I just and then we never hung out again.
Mm.
And I was like, I cannot imagine doing that. That is
Dang.
insane.
That seems right
But
though.
on that
for
date,
you.
though, I would not have wanted to pay my fair share because it's like I'm not gonna spend $100 on this night.
Yeah.
You better be paying for everything.
Mm-hmm. Maybe, I mean, let me ask you this. Maybe there's something that we sort of interpret as like man things, like stuff guys want to do that maybe are just like human
I
things.
think that's almost all the things.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But keep going.
Well,
Sorry,
because,
I'm just answering
because
in advance.
I mean, I'll tell you what, like there's been times where like Deb, I mean, recently, I mean, it's the winter, so work slows down a little bit. Just, I mean, summer I'll be fine. But there's been times recently where Deb has sort of like picked up some of the slack or maybe like got dinner or something. And like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel good not to make your own money. I don't know if women are like that too, or if they don't mind being like taken care of.
I mean, I think it is socialized in this way that there's way less shame put on a woman who does that. Like, I think there are certainly some women that would never be okay with that and always want to pay their own way, and it's very important to their identity. And there are other people who've like grown up having things been given to them, and it feels okay, and it doesn't feel like they're losing anything.
You think it's all socialized? Because Joe Rogan says that.
Tell me. What does he say?
No, but I don't know. But I was listening to, I was listening to Joe Rogan talk to this guy on his show, and the guy was talking about like a human interaction, and but through the lens of like biology, which I think might be just like junk science. But I think there is something about like, I don't know, you just feel like a piece of shit when you're a guy and you're not making money.
Yeah, when the male tigers don't pay for dinner.
I mean, that's the thing. Yeah. I think obviously there are biological differences. I'm not trying to say that that's not a factor, but like the concept of money is not part of our like physical makeup. So the idea of wanting to be a provider, I think sure that's a human instinct in the way that like traditionally women cook all the meals and take care, like do all these things to provide care in a way that men, you know, they're going to go like hit the lion and drag it back or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that instinct is the same and it's just channeled in different ways. And so women traditionally have not been expected to make much money or to contribute in that way in any sort of meaningful way until like the last generation. Like this is a new thing that women can meaningfully make money in a way that is really different from most of human history. So it makes sense to me that there's like, you know, some growing pains there, but I don't think like 100 years from now, hopefully, once that's, you know, there's a lot of relationships in which the woman makes more money and like that's totally cool and fine.
Are those people happy though?
I think it depends on the people.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the people in those relationships.
Asking the hardball questions.
Well, I wanted to say this for later in the show, but let me just put it out there. I mean, I kind of have this like nagging fear that women are like smarter than guys.
It's true. I'm
okay,
here to
fine.
tell you.
All right, fine.
Women are
okay,
better.
all right.
Nagging
okay, fine.
fear.
Well, I think,
okay, so why do you think that, and why are you afraid
a lot of
of it?
people do. What?
Why do you think that, and why are you afraid of it if true?
Because I don't want to be dumb.
Right.
I want people to think I'm an intellectual.
Okay, but me being smart doesn't make you dumb.
Yeah,
what?
That's right.
Me being smart doesn't make you dumb.
Right, but you don't want to be in a romantic partnership with somebody who's like smarter than you. You know,
but
you
I
be the smart
do.
one.
But I.
But it's not like
you do.
I think. Well, again, I think that this is something that's socialized differently. That like,
right.
I want to be in a relationship with someone who's as smart as me, but we're smart about different stuff.
Yeah,
that would be my ideal.
Not computer software.
Right? No, if you're gonna like, I don't know shit about that. You want to be good at that? Cool, go for it. I'm not threatened by that. But I mean, I have the same
I built
feelings.
this table.
That's not exactly what I heard.
Smarter than you, Deb.
Yeah.
Smarter than you, Deb.
Probably, yeah.
No, like just because like women are gonna be smarter than you doesn't mean that you can't be a smart man or vice versa. You know?
No, I don't think women are smarter than me. I don't know. I mean, you have that fear.
A thing that I was thinking about on my way here, sort of reflecting on what all this might be about, is like on my podcast, I talk a lot about like what is masculinity and when is it bad and toxic. And I think a lot of people take the message from feminism that like men are bad and being manly is bad. Like, no, not necessarily.
Yeah.
But I think I crystallize it like if you being a man is totally tied to you being better than women or tearing down women or keeping women in line, that's when it's bad.
Right.
Sure.
And I think a lot of the gender roles in the mob or whatever, like that's what it is. It's keeping women in place. It's not letting women have power.
Right.
When women do get a little bit of power, all hell breaks loose and it's a bad situation. And that's fair. And if your daughter's boyfriend pays for something, that makes you less of a man. Yeah. Which to me is crazy because how can somebody else's behavior define you as a person?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Tony Soprano is like kind of a baby.
Right.
Right. Like that's a pussy move to care. Like what?
Yeah.
It's like to me,
it's like an affront to his,
because it's coming from Meadow indirectly. Right.
Right. It's coming from Meadow.
Well, indirectly, her boyfriend. So it's like
no, but I think he paid for the dinner with his because he was like, "You're always so generous." I figured I reciprocate. So I think it's his money because Tony got him that job at the construction site. We're gonna spoil the whole show for you.
I know this key plot point.
Yeah, well, there's another scene at a construction site that I won't spoil for you because I want you to experience it.
Okay.
Spontaneously.
I can't wait.
Yeah. But yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I just feel like there's a few. I mean, part of me feels like Deb is probably smarter than me. Listen, there's a few things that guys can do. I can move furniture, but I'm getting worse at that. My body's,
breaking down, becoming older.
I can, and what the fuck else can I do? I can put up shelves, but Deb can do that too. So it's like really the stuff that we can't, like if you said to me, what's some of the stuff you can do? I would probably say like, yeah, move furniture and make money if I
pasta?
had. Yeah, make homemade pasta. Sure.
The manliest
thing. You can buy that at the store. And
cooking is something
also,
I find so interesting about gender roles that it's like traditionally a woman's thing, but like all the people who make real money doing it are men.
Right.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Right.
It's not cool.
Well, that's because you're Gordon Ramsay and you got to yell at line cooks.
They're breaking it. What was the name of the woman that just had the Netflix show? Acid, Fat, Heat?
Salt, acid, fat, heat.
Yeah, I forget her name, but
she's coming up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, still male dominated.
Yeah. I don't care. Nobody can cook like my grandmother. All right.
But I mean, I think that point that you make about being afraid that women are smarter or better is something that a lot of men are dealing with in this way that I understand, but I also find frustrating because, again, if a woman does, like, women are objectively doing better now than they ever have. They're getting more college degrees, they're working more, they're making
Sam
more
Harris
money.
would say better than guys. So really,
that's the thing. If women are doing better, that means that some women are going to do better than some guys. But who fucking cares? Because it doesn't mean that those guys can't work hard like the women are doing and also succeed. The idea that
but
it's
if
like
I work hard, I'll
pie.
have just like a bad back. I'll just have a bad back and maybe an extra $500. Anyway, go ahead.
Right, but
Sorry.
you could like learn other skills and do other
Yeah, I
things
guess
if
I
you
could.
wanted to.
Yeah, you could learn computer programming, Mike.
I made these.
It's a postcard.
It's so blue collar.
It's for handyman services.
You
Very nice.
pigeonholed yourself.
Did you
Yeah, but what
did
else
you
am I gonna
design?
do?
Are you showing me this like you learned design skills or like you're gonna
yeah, I
use
did
it?
it. Well, I did that on Vista
take it
but-
home. show some
No,
people.
I think I
Those
could.
are both valid skills.
I think I could do basic handyman stuff. Yeah.
I think the graphic design is a better choice for someone who's complaining about his body deteriorating.
Okay.
Just-
yeah, but everybody does that.
Right,
Anyway,
but
you don't have to sort my life out. All I'm saying is that.
But I could.
All I'm saying is that we should like still be allowed to, I don't know, make money. We should. That's not what I want to say. That's not what I want to say. I think that like
you should still be allowed to feel superior to women, even as we are doing better.
No, but some guys do make that like their whole identity. They make that like their thing.
And I think that is fucked up.
Yeah.
On the record, I think that's bad.
He's like, y'all bitches are. Well, he's not. He can be any race, but he's like, he like.
I wasn't picturing anything yet.
No, but I started to go there.
Okay, now I am.
No, but there's people who like, but people will like listen to Jordan Peterson say that like women are chaotic and be like, that's right, they're chaotic, and I gotta rein him in.
He says that.
What?
Jordan Peterson says women are chaotic.
Jordan
or is
Peterson,
he just like generally?
Jordan Peterson says the world is made up of order and chaos, and that females are chaotic, and males provide order to the universe. I don't know if that's exactly what he says. But
you're paraphrasing.
No, but he does present that.
Sure. That
dichotomy,
angle.
Is that the right word?
That's the right word. Good vocab.
Yeah, I've been using like bigger words in my speech, and I don't know if it's for me.
Do you think you're using them correctly?
I don't think so.
I
wonder. Sometimes I'm like, word of the day.
You can check with me. I have an excellent vocabulary.
Do you?
As someone who does have an excellent vocabulary, I think that it's better to use small words correctly all the time than to pepper in complicated words and maybe misuse them and sound like an idiot.
No, because you know what? I had a job a few years ago, and the job was to hand out flyers for Metro PCS.
Okay.
And the guy who was like the manager, like the team leader, he would just like he was a very dumb guy, and he would just try to use the biggest words possible to sound smart, and we were all like, what are you doing? You sound ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, so are we gonna hand out the flyers here, or are we leaving? And he's like,
I can't wait for the word you're gonna choose.
Well, he would just be like, at this present time I am awaiting instructions from supervisors, and then I will determine how we will go about this and it was very funny.
All those words seem okay.
Yeah, I would say
I was
that's like
waiting
a
for,
little
like-
bit overly formal.
I was
but
waiting
those
for like
words were-
truncate. Well, let me truncate this order down to management.
Well, it was just
where,
like the biggest. Yeah, it was just the biggest word that
Yeah.
he knew. Anyway, all right, let's move on a little bit.
Do you have like specific topics and questions?
I sure do.
Oh man,
Well,
so organized. Good
Yeah,
thing we've
look
got
at
a man
him.
here to keep us organized.
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. All right, let's play another clip.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
another
from-
clip.
Ooh, okay.
This is from season 1, and we're gonna listen to this, and I got some more questions for Janet, Tony's uncle.
Oh, I didn't see this, but I heard about the scene.
About what?
Oral sex. What's so terrible about pleasing a woman?
You always have to talk about everything.
Well, I want to know why.
It's complicated.
Yeah. But why?
Why? Because they think if you suck pussy, you'll suck anything.
Oh, you're kidding.
It's a sign of weakness, and possibly a sign that you're a fanook.
A bag? That's ridiculous. How would the two even translate?
What are you gonna do? I don't make the rules.
So is that after he went down on her?
It's after you went down on
Okay.
her. Yeah, and he's
I missed that
apparently
episode, and my roommate told me about
good
it.
at it.
I
Okay.
could have bet you $1 million we were gonna talk about this clip.
Well, yeah, we have
talking
to.
about.
It's our masculinity show.
Right.
Janet, why is eating pussy a sin?
Yeah, Greek Orthodox.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a sin.
Mm-hmm.
I think more people should do it more often. Yeah, I don't know. I think that all of like the weird masculinity stuff tied up in sexual acts is
Mhm.
just totally confusing to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you are putting your face in
Right.
something that could resemble a very tiny penis
What?
and sucking it.
That is all right. I don't know what we're learning about your sexual partners, but
My grandma's like,
um,
"Did you do that? You better go to confession."
I mean, obviously, with like from a religious context, like anything like that is, you know,
Yeah.
like sex is bad.
Right,
But
right,
so,
right.
and like especially
Or sex for pleasure is bad.
right. So obviously, any
It's
kind
just
of
how they
oral
control
sex is like purely for pleasure. So
Yeah.
you can't, you know, write any biblical use for it.
Mm.
But like how the idea that like eating pussy would make you less of a man is like in this context was somehow not surprising, but also new to me. I'm like, but I do like, it's funny to think that I don't think that oral sex used to be quite as standard of a thing in past generations. So I think part of it's like an
Right.
age thing.
Okay.
Who's the rapper that doesn't eat pussy?
All of them.
The most
Frank Ocean.
No,
Frank
but,
Ocean.
oh my god.
don't be throwing around these wild accusations. You don't know.
Yeah. I know.
Who is it? Who's the, guy?
rapper that doesn't eat pussy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of the name, and I don't.
Oh,
know if it's the
DJ
wrong one.
Khaled.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
On the record, as
Looks like
well.
there's one thing he won't eat. Am I right, folks? Somebody, that joke was already made.
Yeah, many people made that joke.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Anyway, all right. If we are going to talk about insecurities, here's another thing. I mean, like maybe it just feels like nowadays more people want to hear from women.
Wait, what?
Wait,
I'm sorry.
in the media and stuff.
Okay, so we're not
People-
talking about
Yeah, you kind
that
of
pussy.
Let's
anymore.
go, let's go off
from
on a little
something-
tangent. All right.
Cool.
So
A little
the
tangent that
the-
people want to
the
hear from women for the
main-
first time.
the main part of the show is why eating pussy is bad and you should never do it.
Okay,
You never,
all right.
You never, because your face is a gift from God. You never put it in a disgusting
Wow.
fucking trash hole.
I'm leaving.
You should be allowed to, as long as you know,
No,
equal
nobody should.
69, right?
No,
You
that's
should talk about that
nonsense.
at church.
That is nonsense.
That's all pleasure.
Take
that's
turns.
That's an
Nobody
infinity
can
loop.
concentrate.
The first time I 69, the first time I 69 with a girl, I was on top.
Yeah, that's why. Same.
Yeah.
It's this horrible conspiracy.
The guy was on top?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was much bigger than I was.
Yeah.
It was a horrible experience.
Like you guys are
Learn how to
wrestling.
do these
No,
things.
Somebody
it's
has to get pinned. I don't know.
It's just.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
just gravity is pulling your dick into her mouth.
Oh, I am.
What about being on your sides? You
Yeah,
know,
it's
so I can
sides?
see the numbers
So-
spelled out.
So rarely do people's
That's how they sell Casper
torsos
mattresses.
line up that well.
Yeah, right.
It's just
right.
not.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
for
like-
me.
that would be a great wine commercial. It's like people 69ing and the red wine doesn't spill.
That would be compelling.
You know, the mattress is so soft, everybody's in blissful heaven.
See, the Matt haters, you're all wrong. You
Stupid.
guys got owned because Matt, that was funny. The wine's not. Yeah, that's
Shut
good.
up.
No, I just said
No,
I'm
I know,
being
I know.
sincere.
That seemed
Anyway.
very sincere.
Anyway.
Let's talk about
Sure.
expressing friendship and admiration for other
Yeah.
men.
I don't know about that. It usually
for
takes someone.
total
It usually
pussies.
takes someone to die for that to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Kevin died, and all my friends are saying I love you, but not anymore. You
Yeah.
get like a
You
nice
get like
little
a week window,
You get
or
like a
it's
1
okay
week
to say
window.
it.
Yeah.
Did you cry? I mean, you cry for other men? Or it takes the right setting? Is it
No.
allowed? Do you cry often?
What?
Do you cry? That I suppose that's like a thing
I
about
don't know.
male masculinity. It's like you're
I-
not allowed to cry.
Listen to the most recent episode of my podcast for a lot of discussion about
who
that.
did you have on?
Wait, I'm forgetting. I record several in a row, so
Frank-
then I forget what
Yeah,
conversation
it's a
I had
Frank
with him.
Tarantino. Frank got banned for saying the N-word at an open mic, and he cried. And I just let it out because I'm allowed to hurt. I'm allowed to feel pain, Yeah. Where were we, guys?
Well, we were talking about
insecure-
eating pussy, and then you
Yeah.
let us know
Let's just
that
go back.
the media wants to hear from women now.
Right,
And,
let's-
and why is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where were you
Seemed
going
to
on
me
well,
that?
we're
what
not
your
talking about
question
that
was.
on my podcast. This is my show.
Okay.
The Patreons decide. No. I just do kind of feel like it is good that people want to hear from women now, but nobody wants to hear from guys.
I don't think that's true.
All right, fine. Agree to disagree.
I think that
Let's move on.
I think that for the first time,
No, but
women
here's-
have platforms, and so it's not that when people don't want to hear from men. It's just like, cool. We get your point of view. Let's let some of these other people talk.
I misspoke. I think that's the insecurity where it's like if you're a guy, you gotta find some pretty interesting, unique.
Right. You have to
funny
be
things to
interesting.
say.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So whenever like
All right, Janet,
whenever
don't
male
lecture me.
comics are like,
I
you
hear-
brought
all
me
right.
on here not to lecture you? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
Whenever
ahead.
male comics are like, oh, you have to be like gay and black and woman to get anything now. It's like,
Yeah.
no.
I mean, that's true.
You just have to be funny.
That is
And-
what I sound like.
The most
Did you
basic
bug my house?
the most basic ass boring white dudes have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
getting things that they don't deserve for so long.
Yeah.
And now it's like
But
becomes
sometimes talented-
slightly competitive. for them.
Sometimes talented white guys get passed over. I'm not even talking about
don't-
Matt here. I'm talking
I
about.
don't know that is true. I don't think that's happening.
I think it is.
I might for like maybe one specific instance
Yeah,
of like
me.
somebody
Specific-
gets
I guess.
this project in
Mhm.
place of somebody else, but it's not a zero sum game. It's not like this dude is now forever canceled because
All I
this
know
other
is-
person got an
Yeah.
opportunity.
All I know is
Because
I
they're
was
gonna give him another opportunity. They're
Well,
definitely gonna do that.
either that or he starts a podcast and says stuff
Sure.
that'll stop him from ever working again.
There you go.
Because he's mad about the one thing. All I know is I was up for a job on Samantha Bee and I didn't get it and I lost it to a Muslim woman. And I'm still fucking pissed
Did
about
they
that.
did they
Right.
tell
'Cause
you
I could've been mine.
specifically? Did they tell you specifically they
Matt,
chose her?
I'm not even allowed to.
Oh,
yeah, I wouldn't.
right.
Even, anyway,
You signed an NDA saying they told you it was
yeah.
because you were too boring.
They said, "Hey, we found a." We did some digging from 2 weeks ago on your Twitter. Did you have homophobic tweets 2 weeks ago? Anyway, but part of me sometimes is like maybe who cares? This is a boring conversation. Eating pussy, is it okay? Can you get sick? Can you get diseases from it? I'm asking.
I mean, you can get diseases from any exchange of bodily fluids,
Mhm.
but I think it's less likely than
Michael
other ways.
Douglas thinks that he got throat cancer.
Yeah.
I got throat cancer from
Didn't
eating
say
pussy.
I mean, you can transmit like HPV and all that
God
stuff every
damn
which
it.
way.
Mhm.
Right.
I mean, I think the thing, like, obviously nobody's using dental dams because that's weird as hell.
Yeah,
so.
it's like doing a
But do you remember that moment in health class
blowjob.
when your teacher like pulled out the dental dam and
I
they
don't
were
think
like,
I had that moment.
No,
No.
I did. It was a yellow piece of rubber, and she's like, "All right, let me just show you guys what this is." And we were all like,
Just put her face in.
Have either of you ever touched a dental dam?
"I think so." Yeah, we
I've
passed it around the
certainly
class.
never had anyone ever near me.
It's so funny that because that's already not fun, and then you're making it more or less fun.
It's
You-
not
Why
fun.
Wait, you don't
What?
like
You don't like to do it?
going down?
No, I do like it, but it's like I like it the way I like doing CrossFit. You know,
You're
it's
happy once it's over.
yeah, I'm happy once it's
It's
over.
like a good accomplishment.
it's like getting a massage from a Vietnamese woman. It's like you don't tell her that it's hurting you, and then once you're done, you're like, okay, I'm glad I did that. Yeah.
It's the CrossFit coach yelling at you.
Yeah, it's very labor intensive. It's like
It is labor intensive.
What?
Eating
going
pussy.
down on a lady.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like respect the amount of work that's involved.
So you know it's a lot of work. Like you see how tired guys get.
Yes, and that can be stressful as well. I think it's just kind of on the topic of like masculinity, and I think it's interesting because some dudes like love talking about how much they love eating pussy in a way that's just like, calm down.
Yeah.
That's very cool of you.
Yeah.
But
Some
please
guy,
shut
it's
up.
like in their Bumble profile.
Yeah, and it's like they're so performative and how much they love it. But
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
okay, that's suspect. I don't.
Yeah. And it's like they'll bring it up at the wrong time. So you're
Right.
like, we're at a children's birthday party.
I
Like, what are you doing?
In high school, I had a friend who's like, you know, a dumb high school boy who's like, if they made it in a drink, I'd buy it bottled. Like pussy
They
juice.
buy it?
I'm just like, that's not true. Nobody,
Yuck.
Yeah.
like, that's gross.
Yeah, cold
Don't say
pussy
that.
juice? Get out of here, dude.
Right.
That sounds awful.
I say on stage that it's like a shift at Applebee's because if you wear headphones, you get yelled at. But you should be allowed to listen to podcasts while you do it.
Yeah.
This is, again, we made this joke when you were on my podcast, or
Did
you
we?
made that joke. And then I
Oh, I
talked
did.
about how you should listen to yourself on my podcast while you were going down on your lady.
Oh, that would be psychotic.
It would be very psychotic.
That'd be right up your lane, though, dude. You would do it just for the experience.
Yeah, I guess I would. Yeah, why not? Okay, well, let's see. Did we cover everything we needed to cover about eating pussy? Anything else?
Oh,
Going once?
Wonderful pun there.
What?
Cover everything we needed to cover. Dental
Yeah.
dam.
All right, going once, going twice. Now, there's a couple other things. Now, okay, I just feel like in society today, the role of men is like, it's not diminishing, but it's like guys are confused because they don't know what they're supposed to do. And you see a lot of guys sort of like cucking themselves because they think that's what they're supposed to do. They think they're not supposed to be, you know, confident or like, or ambitious or I don't know. They think that like being, you know, second, being
They're like
number
trying
two.
to be a beta because they think that that's what women want.
Do you have like
Yeah.
a specific example you're thinking
It's
of?
like
Are
they're
people
like-
actually doing this?
They're like Simba hanging out with Timon and Pumbaa eating bugs, and they're supposed to be the king of Pride Rock.
right.
They're like writing.
That's a character arc, though. You
What?
know?
Yeah,
Being a beta and then becoming an alpha is like a major character arc.
becoming an alpha.
That's like Walter White, or you know, like a lot of anti-heroes.
They think they're becoming alphas.
Well, they do become alphas.
Mm-hmm. You know, ContraPoints they made a good point about this. Do you know about ContraPoints? She's a trans woman who hosts a YouTube show.
Okay.
And she was like, there's all these like, there's this movement of guys online who are like, yeah, alpha males, be an alpha. And they're like, she's like, what about like Barack Obama or like Warren Buffett? Wouldn't you consider that like an alpha? All these guys are like relatively low status people, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think the terms alpha and beta are good examples of broken ideas of masculinity because it's like presented as such an either or. Then it's like you can either be like strong and powerful and dominate everyone, or you can be a
Or you can get
total
pegged.
pussy that rolls over.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well,
Right.
let's
Right.
you know, a little from column A, a little from column B
Right.
can be all right.
Yeah.
You
like
can be both. You can run Trump's campaign and get pegged.
Yeah, or like I mean,
Manafort.
oh,
is there
okay.
a
Okay.
pegging story?
I heard
there?
Manafort and Stone like to get pegged.
Still,
Roger
Dude,
Stone.
listen,
I heard he
dudes
cucks
like
with his
stuff
wife.
in their butts, and they just don't all know it
Right.
What makes you say that?
because of male biology.
One of Deborah's gay friends told her that as well.
Have you ever had anything
Good
in your
thing.
butt?
And it's been
Good
rattling
thing-
around in
No,
that brain.
Good thing I will never know. Good thing that I'm a good
like, I
Catholic
just
boy.
think it's so
I go to
interesting.
confession twice a week. Every time I think about it, I tell the priest, and it'll never happen. No, I don't know. Anything like how big?
And like a finger, it doesn't even have to go inside.
What's wrong with God that he's making it feel good to put stuff in the place where shit comes out of? He's a fucking pervert.
I mean, he already hit where pee comes out of. You know?
Right, pee comes out of there.
Right.
That's why you don't eat pussy. Thank you. Just a roundabout way. This is the anti-eating pussy podcast. Go
Just
ahead.
to be clear, you know that there are two holes, right? I mean, it's the same region, so
Yeah.
technically.
I was hoping you knew that.
No, but for males, the ejaculate
For males,
comes out
yes,
of your
it's
pee
one.
hole.
It's one hole. That's true.
Uh-huh.
But you were talking about eating pussy,
Mm-hmm.
so that's technically two holes.
It's technically two holes, yeah. And I asked my friend Kim that one time
Wait,
when I was in middle school.
why would you not let? Why would you not let a willing, interested partner do anything to your butt if you were confident it would feel good?
Because it's weird.
It's a slippery slope.
What is weird?
I don't know,
slippery.
Matt, you take this one.
What
I gotta
is weird?
go to the bathroom. We're gonna take a quick break from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Hey everybody! Blue Apron is our sponsor this week. You can cook meals from your home. You get all kinds of recipes and delivered right to your door. Okay. All right, and we're back. So, do you like Tony Soprano or do you like? Why wouldn't I let a partner put something in my butt?
If you were confident, it would feel good. You seem to be confident that it would feel good.
What do you mean?
You just said it's
just
like
the way you're
the
talking
God
about it seems like you're like,
is like
I wish I could try
fucking
this
with
thing.
us because it makes our butts feel so good. You just said, you know.
I don't know.
A lot of nerve endings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like unmasculine.
For me, it's like a ticklish zone. I can't. I'll like hit you on accident.
It's,
So
well,
it's like,
it's all a matter of like pressure and all of that.
Matt pays a Korean woman to tickle him.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of to be totally honest with
Because it's
you.
a vulnerable. You said it's
to be
not
totally-
masculine, but it's like, why is that not masculine? Because we have these ideas about masculinity. Because it's a very vulnerable position to have somebody like.
Right. Pit bulls hate it.
Yeah, to be totally honest, it's like not. It's like weird to be like penetrated.
Sure, I mean it's not.
And I will never let it happen. I could get colon cancer for all I fucking care. I'll fucking waste away.
You
Wow.
won't get a camera up your butt.
That's a cool opinion.
You're not gonna get.
I'm not doing that. I'm not getting the colonoscopy. That's for fanooks.
Yeah.
wow.
That's
Oh,
another.
wow.
Yeah.
Dad, you're dying of cancer. I don't care. We die of cancer in this family. Before that happens, I don't know, Janet. Have you done stuff like that to a guy?
I did peg one time.
You pegged a guy?
I pegged a guy. It was not a great experience for either of us.
Right.
First time for both of you guys.
No, first time for me. It
Oh,
was
shit.
our fourth date. It was too early. We were still strangers,
Mhm.
and he had been like very aggressively asking me to do it.
Like, this is what I like.
This guy's
Yeah,
like,
it
what?
was,
So
like,
what's your last name?
Was really interested.
By the way, I never got your I never got your email.
So I just like, all right, whatever. I'm open minded.
Yeah.
Cool. And
Yeah.
it just
You strapped on a dildo and pegged him?
Yes.
God.
But
See,
it's
this
like
is why we have the church and the mafia to stop us from engaging in sinful behavior like
No,
this.
I want to hear about this.
It was bad, not because of the act itself. It was
Right.
like we didn't know each other well enough. I didn't know what I was doing. I was self-conscious and uncomfortable. His reaction was clearly such like I wasn't doing a good job, and he was not communicating with me what I should do differently.
Just be a man.
So we just like both felt awkward.
Yeah.
And then he ghosted me, which was really not cool. But so like, you know, it wasn't.
Had you had sex already, or was that the first?
Yeah, no. We
counts.
had hooked up a few times, and then like each time he'd been like,
You hooked up a few times, and it was a fourth date. I mean, you can't.
I'm a big hoe.
You got to be careful, Janet. You can't give away that snatch so easily. You know what I mean? It goes
It
against what
depends.
Christ teaches.
For a Catholic girl, I've done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
removing lots of layers of sexual shame off myself.
Speaking of Catholicism, there was I remember like being in CCD and then getting mixed with the kids who went to Catholic school because we all were prepping for confirmation together. Man,
for confirmation.
Those kids were so bad. They like cursed in church. I just remember like they came in and they were like swearing. I'm like, this is God's house. What is wrong with you?
They spent a lot of time in God's house.
What the frick is wrong with
you?
Yeah. They spent all day in God's house just horny.
I want to go back in time and see like a uncorrupted Mike Recine who's like angry at other kids for swearing in church. You sound like such a sweet boy.
I was kind of a goody two shoes. When I was in kindergarten, this girl showed me her ass and I told on her.
Wow.
She's like, Mike, I want to show you something. And
You're just like, this whore, this slut showed me her ass sexually. It's a kindergartner.
I just knew it was like wrong. Yeah. She like pulled her pants out, showed me her butt, and I'm like,
who'd you tell?
The fucking teacher.
Did she get in trouble?
Yeah, she got kicked out of school.
No. Come on.
We never saw her again. Her and her family had to leave town because I'm just a little. I just can't be cool.
Yeah, she planted the seed back in kindergarten.
Samantha's ass. Yeah.
I do think it's funny how like some level of prudishness is part of all of these ideas,
right?
Where it's like on the one hand, like again, I keep trying to take us back to talking about the mob because you do not care about the theme of your podcast.
No, we've talked. We've played two Sopranos clips. No, we have.
Like the idea that,
don't worry, we have stuff.
That you're expected to have mistresses and all this shit and like all of that.
Yeah.
And it's like that. A lot of your power as a man comes from being like this virile, whatever, fucking. But nobody can touch your butt. But like nobody can do these other things. And like if you eat pussy, then you're less of a man.
Right.
And like there's all these. That
guy Janet dated felt like less of a man because he just couldn't take that dildo.
No, he had clearly taken that dildo. I was not the first person to put on that dildo. That was not the problem. That was
like
not the problem.
He calls
it's
his
like
dad.
a gym dildo you have to wipe down.
Well, that was the thing. I put it on. I was like, I should have.
You're like, you own this already.
He calls his dad. He's like, Dad, this girl pegged me and I cried. What's wrong with me? Am I less of a man?
But that's the thing is like,
I trained you better than this. He's like Asian or something.
I don't think there's anything not manly about getting fucked. By like that. There's not like to me that's not related at all. Yeah. The look on your face right now is spectacular. The curl on his lip. Oh my God, so disgusted.
I mean, maybe
you're just afraid that you would like giggle like a little girl and love it so much.
You think? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so the Gomorrah is a Sicilian mafia family. Dude. But also like no, but I do a joke on stage about something going in my ass, and it's either like usually it works, but a lot of times there is like I feel people like not tighten up, just like turn off, and I feel like I lose the crowd. It's like disrespectful. Also, it's where shit comes out of. So
that is true.
Yeah,
no
you don't know. That. You don't know.
Hello, we're doing the show.
Oh, okay.
Say hi.
Hello, hi everyone.
I'll probably just end up cutting this out.
I don't edit mine.
We were just talking about being penetrated.
Maybe
by God.
Maybe I'll keep it.
This is cruel.
All right, I gotta go. Bye.
Okay, but
yeah, go ahead. What?
Are you staying home or are you going into the city after?
I'm not going in the city tonight.
Did you want me to wipe off your butt plug, or did you?
Yeah, right. No one will ever find out about that.
Oh my God.
All right, so
can I say like like having mistresses in like when they would elect not to, that almost felt like when there's like a precinct full of dirty cops and it's like, oh, what, you think you're better than us because you're not taking money?
Right.
It's the same type of deal where
that's
it's
Johnny
like,
Sack from Sopranos. This whole deal, he's got like a 400-pound wife and he doesn't fuck other women.
Right.
Like, what do you think, you're better than us, John?
Right.
Just because he loves his huge wife.
Right. And again, to like that whole thing of part of being a man is participating in like degrading women.
Right.
And that is how you build respect.
Right. When really part of being a man, like if you want to talk about manly and tough, you're more tough if you fuck the same woman for years.
Right.
If just muster up an erection and
if you make
dredge yourself into that
choice,
fucking
Muster
pussy that you don't want
listen,
to have sex with anymore.
This thing, I think that there's this idea that men want to stray and women don't, and I think that is a lie. I think that women are just as interested in strange dick as anybody else might be. But we have all these ideas, like it looks a little different, and I'm not saying it's like sexual desire is exactly the same between men and women, but I think it's pretty similar, and that monogamy is hard, and if you make that choice, like that's an impressive feat of strength to be with one person for 30 years or whatever. And like that is, to me, that is a sign of strength and masculinity and all that. Like if that's a choice that you value and you want to like, I don't think that monogamy is necessarily better. That's what I would want to choose, but like
it's what you want
for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that
what's hard is not walking out on your retarded kid. That takes a real man.
That would also
to not leave, even though he's eating all the cookies. Freaking out when
you can't even tell him you're going to the corner store for cigarettes. Does he understand? You don't know.
He'll just follow you there like a dog.
Is this a mafia reference or just cruelty?
I guess it's
straight cruelty.
Me trying to understand my father. No, my brother has autism, and my parents are still together.
That's great.
Yeah.
The fact that you have those things so linked is interesting.
What do you mean?
Autism?
I mean, obviously that would be a difficult challenge for any marriage.
Well, a lot of dads leave.
Right, because a lot of men are bad people.
They do.
Fine. Yeah.
If the going gets
Matt,
tough,
would you? What would you do?
No, it just seems like
I have two dogs I think about leaving.
One of them's retarded.
I have 2 dogs I think about just getting in my car and driving. Until I can't see until I don't know what state I'm in. Start a new life because my dog shit on the floor. I'm out of here. Yes. Janet, were you in the middle of something? I'm sorry if I cut you off.
I don't think I was, but I appreciate the apology.
You got it.
He feels like he overstepped something.
So yeah, that is another thing. I mean, I guess I don't know, maybe that people perceive that as a sign of strength, like having mistresses, having other women around. I remember I met my aunt and uncle in Montreal because I went up there with my grandmother, and I met my uncle and my aunt, and I had a girlfriend, and I said something about being cheating or whatever, and then my aunt was like, "Hey, before you get married, you do whatever you want." And,
right. Well, I mean, women are obviously participating in this system, and like there are different. Yeah, it wouldn't happen otherwise. I mean, like women are totally part of upholding all of these.
You think it's just like a ruse? They're like, yeah, Francesco goes out and has some fun.
Well,
just stay home.
In one of the
else.
episodes of The Sopranos that I saw, when she was talking to the priest, she was like threatened by the woman therapist, where she's like, well, I didn't care about all the the mistresses because for them I felt like it was almost masturbation. Like they didn't matter. They're like they're part of this system. They've got their place. I've got my place, and everybody's comfortable with that.
Where you going, town? I'm just going to jerk off.
And
I'm going to jerk off with some Bosnian woman.
Like if that's the arrangement, that's the arrangement. And in many ways, like mothers having different expectations for their sons and their daughters, and teaching them different things, and telling your fucking horn dog nephew like, go fuck as many people as you want before you're married. It doesn't count. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
But like a lot of women feel that way in a way that they would not allow themselves the same freedom.
Right. Interesting. I always sort of told myself that women didn't really want strange dick. They just wanted one dick that was awesome.
No, there are studies that actually show that women, like once you settle down and like in their 30s and stuff like that, women are more interested in relationships that like open up. It's mostly started by the women.
I mean, not my bitch.
Yikes.
She has everything she needs.
This is the prime time for that.
I said
though,
bitch,
Mike.
but like I said it in like the hip hop way.
Sure.
All right, so here's an interesting. I found an article from Vice, the complicated roles of mafia, and then this was the thing. In recent years, the wives of mafiosi have required that their husbands' lovers be foreign: Russian, Polish, Romanian, Moldovan, women they consider to be socially inferior. I mean, yeah, that's true. Spot the lie. And incapable of building a family and educating children properly. So that's kind of interesting. You just like go.
That's somebody's ideology. Insane.
Go put your dick in some Slav and some Polak.
Like it's funny.
Who can't read.
Well, in the way that it's like I'm not threatened, my power and my position are clear. Like, yeah, it's what I was saying before. Of like, I mean, obviously there's some cool racism mixed in there as well.
Right,
It's
yeah.
really fun.
I just imagine an Italian dad teaching his son and his mistress how to read. Like, 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. What were you saying, Janet?
Again, I didn't
Some
have
racism
a
there.
longer point other than, yeah, I think on the record, I think that's fucked up too.
It's funny that they're allowed to be Russian, Polish, Romanian, or Moldovan, but not like not like a different race.
Well, I think that
It's a
those are
different kind of white people.
probably like the nearby,
Mhm.
like migrant, whatever people
Mhm.
cleaning your house or whatever shit.
Like who would you feel?
I want a
not,
Ukrainian mistress.
Who would you feel not threatened by cucking Deb? You know, like if somebody was to
That's a good
have
question.
sex with your girlfriend in
Jewish.
front of you,
Now,
you're like not threatened, but it's got to be something close to Italian, right?
who would I feel comfortable cucking? Yeah, I don't know.
How do you think Deb would feel about this question and conversation?
I don't know. It's all
She'd
hypothetical.
probably have an answer.
No, I don't even mean about the content.
That we
I
brought
just
it
mean
up.
like that this is something that would be discussed.
Yeah.
Who would you feel comfortable being cucked by?
That's a great question too.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'll name a person.
On the
You
count
tell
of
me.
3.
What about it was like, what if? Okay, all right. Why don't me and you go back and forth?
I'm not going to participate in this.
Me and you go back and forth, and we'll figure out who Matt would be comfortable being cucked by. I'll start. How about Jimmy Fallon?
I feel like an older, sure, an older middle-aged white guy.
How about this? What would bother an older middle-aged white guy?
Yeah, like a celebrity,
like
probably.
a daddy.
I'd be like, okay, I'm not him.
What would bug you?
Bug me. Everybody else.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
only.
Well, you know
Cool.
what? You know why?
Well,
I mean,
Mahershala Ali would be okay too.
Sure, he's
no,
all over the place.
a black
now.
guy would bug me because they're funnier.
I don't disagree with
They're
that.
more
Making your
athletic and
girl
they're
laugh
funnier.
during sex. You're like, hey,
No,
no
but
funny business.
After, yeah. Anyway, a Jewish guy. He's like, so. He's
Wow.
like, what?
Nothing. You just really have no shame or fear about doing racist impressions and voices.
Oh, I don't. Well, no,
I don't-
no. Actually, I wouldn't do like a. I think Jews are okay because they're a little higher on the social, ladder.
Sure.
But I wouldn't do like a black voice. I think that's.
But you
tasteless.
kind of did like twice on this podcast
Yeah, the
already.
bitch voice.
That's like a
bitch.
specific.
You did like a real light one that I wouldn't have called
That's
like.
a specific character.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know
well,
all your characters.
Matt's gonna edit this. Anyway, okay, so this is some more detail about women in the mafia. They wear black, but they wear red under their black to
Yeah, the red
signify.
panties.
Yeah, red panties to signify
Is that
their
true?
lust for revenge.
I read this article on the way over here.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or not. But.
Now this is kind of like bizarre too. Like if you're a woman in the mafia and your husband's in prison, you are expected to like stay abstinent.
That surprises you that they're
It
not
doesn't
that they're
surprise
not
me,
fine with
But
the
that,
ladies getting laid.
That's like that
It's
sucks.
unreasonable.
Yeah.
It's an unreasonable request.
What are we, Muslims?
In this
this
weird,
system of misogyny is
in this weird
extremely
system of
unreasonable.
misogyny.
Yeah,
It's all unreasonable.
You're right.
It's like your husband got caught, like,
So you're never allowed to fuck again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything else, okay. 100%.
So here's my question for you, Janet. Why do men try to control women?
Because they're afraid of us.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they know we're smarter and better. Because
Mhm.
the same questions he's been asking me all along.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Well, I should qualify. I do think that women are smarter and better, but not because men
What do you mean?
can't be
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
but because systems that set up men to succeed, there's no incentive for men to like try harder, be better.
Mm-hmm. But when you're oppressed and marginalized, I think that does kind of give you perspective. So maybe that perspective is necessary
Yeah,
to.
really grateful for that.
Yeah, you're really
perspective.
you're really oppressed, Janet.
I would not
feel
use that
bad for
word to
you.
describe myself.
Every time I see you, I'm like, oh, poor Janet. Look at those shackles. She's just wearing invisible shackles on her body. Yeah.
But
no,
yeah, I think
we-
men are threatened that they're going to lose power if
Mhm.
women gain power.
Mhm.
So you got to keep ladies in line.
Especially in the video game world.
Sure, I don't know a lot
Get
about
out of
that
here.
world.
What do you mean the video game?
I'm just kidding. There's like there's not a lot of competitive women gamers.
Right.
Oh.
I mean, I think
that's
almost
just
every
because-
industry
Right.
that you can list,
Well, I
other
think
than
this
like
might be the
carrot
lowest.
keeping.
Because I played Red Dead last night after not playing for a while. That
Mhm.
game is fucking boring.
I thought
It's
people liked
tedious.
it.
It's good. It's a good game.
It's like you can recognize how good it is, but you could also be like, I don't have time to brush my horse.
You start
and
playing, you're like,
eat.
I gotta brush my horse. I
and
gotta
put in
eat. I gotta
pomade.
clean my guns. I
Yeah.
gotta put pomade in
I
my
gotta
hair.
play checkers with the lady at the camp.
I gotta change. I gotta look at 40 different versions of the same shirt. Figure out which one I want to wear.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
We can play it after this if you want to. I
I'm
want to
good.
show you what a fucking nightmare it is.
But it's fun. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
It
It's
sounds
fun.
like you just have to do a lot of things that women are expected to do,
Oh yeah.
Like what?
like take care of things, like take care of the
Look
boring,
good.
mundane details of life.
Mhm. Make your avatar look presentable.
That's not true. All the women I know are slobs, and they all have genital warts.
I don't think that's true.
But a lot of female comics are like, you go to their places, it's very dirty. There's cat food everywhere. You know?
It sounds like a sweeping generalization that I don't agree with.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. Well,
oh boy.
that's what I love about the marketplace of ideas, you know? Janet can come to my house, drink some seltzer, and we can disagree.
We can.
on
I have a
stuff.
lovely apartment.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where do you live? South Slope?
Flatbush.
Say your address for the listeners so they can send you, they'll send you chocolate or something. They'll send you gifts. If you want, yeah, it's up to you, you know?
They could send you
You can say it on the show.
books.
Yeah, send her. Yeah,
They
Lauren,
don't have to be chocolates.
Lauren
Mike.
sent me a book. Shout out to Lauren. She sent me the Sopranos book.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got a present from a listener?
Oh yeah.
We
That's-
got tracksuits.
Oh
We got
my
Hungarian
goodness.
We
tracksuits.
got
Yeah.
Hungarian
I don't
tracksuits.
get anything.
You should know. You know what you should do. You should do a
You have
like
to you have to like complain, but in a very
Janet,
funny
you gotta,
way.
You gotta do like a right pivot. You should do like an Ali Stuckey thing and be like, I was on the left. I was a feminist, but now I'm not.
And
See
then,
where it goes.
I would get presents from my listeners.
Then you would, you'd blow up. You get some
Sure.
Koch brothers money,
Yeah.
but you got to do that.
Dark
You have
money.
to make you have to make a video where you announce that you're not a feminist anymore because you
Okay.
think feminists
I'll really consider
are
this.
bad. All
It
right.
actually sounds like a pretty good parody.
Yeah.
I agree to disagree.
You should do that if you want to
I
make
think
a
we have enough of those narratives in
Right.
the world
And then you
that
start
I
to
don't
realize
need to do
you're
it
like,
as satire.
oh, that could just be like a
Right.
person.
There's definitely
Yeah.
people saying those things.
It'd be like
Mhm.
Baked
the world.
Alaska or whoever the fuck.
Yeah.
The alt-right comedy people.
Yeah. Well, all right. I'm just putting it on the table.
Thank you. I really appreciate the
It does work
the
for some
input.
people. Yeah. Anyway, wait, we said something that you said that men are slobs. Okay.
I didn't say that, but
No,
I
you-
don't. But I don't. I mean, I think that some men are. I think other men are quite neat.
Mm-hmm.
I think that most
It's like-
generalizations about men or women are just about
But can we-
specific men and women.
Will you concede that a lot of female comics are kind of gross? They live in filth.
No, I will not
All right,
concede
fine.
that.
They
I-
live,
I-
they live- they
I
li- you have to-
primarily
before you-
associate with female comics, and they're all like beautiful, brilliant women.
Really? Before you fuck them, you have to dust the kitty litter off their bed.
I can't
Like,
speak
shake it
to the
off.
comics you fucked, but I will say the ones I know keep
'Cause-
lovely houses.
Really? Because okay. But I was doing a show with Luis Gomez recently, and this girl got on stage. I was like, yeah, this girl looks like she's got a really dirty room. And then we just went back and forth because we knew like who the girl was. I'm like, yeah, the room just smells like cat food and weed.
Would you have done that if it was a guy?
I don't fuck guys.
Okay.
I think you would have made fun of a dorky guy. I wouldn't put it past them to make fun of a
But I guess-
dorky guy on a show.
Yeah. But maybe I don't know. Is this going to turn contentious? Because I didn't want it to.
You
I don't
know I'm
have
not
it-
contentious.
I don't have it in me to fight. I don't have it in me to fight with Janet today.
So
Cool.
you've been quoted as saying, "Oh, that's my favorite."
Janet, just agree with me. Just take these points. Okay. All right. So, all right. You know what? I think I have one more question for you,
Okay.
and then we can wrap this bitch up.
Are you trying to say bitch as much as possible
No.
for fear that it's going to upset
No,
me? Because it
because I
won't.
said-
I don't mind that word.
I said that I'm not doing the black voice. We can.
God.
I'll do the Jew. Why don't I ask you another thing and then we'll wrap this up
You
like
do your
it's a,
Philly accent.
yeah. We'll finish this like it's a matzo ball soup.
It's really just uncanny, his ability to assume another identity.
Just as
Thank
long
you.
as it's poor and blue collar.
I'm like a chameleon.
What do you got
Mike
for me?
Recine, Chameleon. That's my album title. Here's what I have for you. So in this article, there was another whole thing that there was a story, and I wanted to share it with you. And like we're not even gonna get to it, but it's about a lady who like she was married to a guy in the mob, and they killed her, and then her daughter had to like, I think, inform on her father because she knew it was her father that killed her mom.
Yikes.
Anyway, we'll do that next time if you ever come back. But anyway, so there was a lady. So they focused on this lady named that's okay. Not Kimura. Her first name was Immacolata. Very dramatic people.
As you could imagine, the Italian hands coming up as he says the name.
Yeah.
It's impossible to pronounce it without the hands.
Immacolata. Yeah, you're right. But my grandmother was Augusta, and then my great grandmother was Vincenza.
Strong names.
Very dramatic,
Very
strong names. Anyway, there was a boss named Anna Mazza, and she instituted a sort of matriarchy in the Camorra. She was the wife of Gennaro Moccia. These fucking whoppy names. I can't with these, you know. She instituted a sort of matriarchy in the Camorra. She wanted only women in positions of prestige because, according to her, women are less obsessed with military power and make better mediators. This was her way of running the organization. Do you think that, obviously, guys like military power? We like watching Hitler documentaries for the military stuff, you know, because the way their army was set up. But do you think that women are like not as corruptible, or do you think they are susceptible to corruption and exploitation and all the bad stuff?
I think women are absolutely susceptible to all of those
Do you think
things.
we'll see an all-female genocide someday?
No.
Female-run genocide?
So I think I like how you framed this question.
Yeah.
Because
First all-female genocide. This girl boss. This girl boss is slaughtering villagers with an army of child soldiers who all happen to be women.
No, I don't think that is going to happen. I do think a lot of times when I say that women are better, it's not because I think that women are inherently like more good and pure. In fact, I think that's bullshit and, you know, part of misogyny. I don't think that men are.
You think that maybe the stuff they go through makes them
sort of, but I also think, again, we're socialized like women are the peacekeepers, and our role is like make sure everybody's happy, make sure everybody's talking, and like we're not as physically strong. So if we're having an argument and you decide to hit me, like I lose that argument. So we have to be better, you know, being better mediators. I think that's definitely a difference that women prioritize and are then therefore more skilled at like human relationships and interactions in a way that men don't prioritize that. And I think that focus on people's feelings makes people less violent. Also, I think testosterone is a real thing that makes people violent.
Right.
So I don't think that, like, as far as being in positions of power and becoming corrupted, I think women can be just as much, but I think they might be less inclined to because they're just a little bit more focused on everybody getting along and just like, I got my piece, you got your piece.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of evil women, of course.
That's another thing too. Like when you're not the biggest guy in the room, like you do have to like you bring some other stuff to you do have to like learn to negotiate and be funny and stuff like that, or you're gonna get your ass kicked. Unless you're like me, a verbal Bruce Lee. I'm like Bruce Lee of negotiating.
Yeah,
that's how I like to think of myself.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I would be upset if China had a female president before we did. You know.
Yeah, that would be a bummer.
Why,
but
Matt? Because they're a bunch of
just because like they like like they have the only child policy, so they're just like way worse than us. You know.
They loosened that up though.
Oh, they did. Oh, thank God.
But yeah, I mean, I think
they said if it's a girl, you don't have to throw it off a cliff.
But just like culturally, they're way worse, you know?
Well, I think in a lot, in authoritarian societies, in some ways, like, or in some instances, like women do get higher because it's like, I'm saying this and everybody's got to go along with it and you can't question authority. But yeah, it's a real bummer how far we're lagging behind the rest of the world as far as female leadership.
Yeah.
It's like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, check out Janet's podcast. Take a step towards female leadership. And go download Dude Talks to a Lady. It's she's got a lot of good guests and they're good interviews and I like it. Like I said, I've done it twice. You should check it out.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You want to plug anything else?
No, that's what I want to focus all the plugs on.
Okay.
There's a lot of episodes. You can go through my back catalog, listen to how Mike progressed from, a foolish man to a wise man over the course of...
I think over the course of us just doing this podcast, you've mellowed out quite a bit.
The first episode, I'm like, why do you bleed out of there? Is that the devil doing that?
Yeah, he learns about the 2 pee holes on the first episode.
I said middle school. It was actually 7 months ago that I learned that the vagina has 2 holes.
I have taught. No, the vagina does not have 2 holes. The vagina
one
is
for
one
pee-pee,
hole.
one for sex.
The urethra is another hole. The anus is a 3rd hole.
Yeah,
They
Janet.
have
I know
different
the
names.
anus is a 3rd hole.
I'm just saying.
Don't talk to me like I'm a fucking
You
child.
said the vagina has 2 holes. That is inaccurate. The vagina is 1 hole.
Right. Okay. So wait. So explain to Matt.
There's like the pussy.
Explain to Matt what a vagina
Explain
is.
to me
Because
like I'm 3.
There's the greater pussy region.
But look at him when you're talking because he's the one who doesn't know this stuff.
Which is, I'm going to look in the middle of the room.
pussy
There's the
region.
greater
Don't look
pussy
at anybody.
region, commonly referred to as the vagina.
So
However,
pussy is a region.
well, pussy is a slang term.
It's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Because
all
people
of
say
it.
vagina when they mean the whole area, but really,
It's also the bumps on the side.
It's like
if you're looking
bend.
from the front, if I'm standing in front of you naked,
yeah.
you are seeing my vulva.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Right, okay.
Interesting.
Which is, the front part. And then if you get all up in there, there's the labia, which are the lips. And then when you get really up in there,
Janet's vulva is an Invader Zim tattoo.
when you get really in there, then we get to some holes.
Yeah.
One of which is the pee hole, which is the urethra.
Right,
one of which is the vagina, which is the hole that your dick goes into.
Oh, okay. So if it's on a Venn diagram, you got urethra over on the side, vagina on the other side, and pussy region in the center.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Well, we all learned a lot today, folks.
Actually, those 2 circles would be inside the pussy region circle, but that's cool.
Oh.
I can do a lesson on Venn diagrams next
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
Great. Well, guys, check out Janet's podcast.
It's
Come
mostly
see-
just me explaining female genitalia to male guests.
Yeah.
That happens 25% of the time.
That's not. Check out Janet's podcast. Check out Come See Me and Adam. And if you live in Chicago, Milwaukee, or Minneapolis, or Eau Claire, those dates will be up online soon. And rate us, please. Rate us. And like I said, 6 new Patreons.
5 new recipes.
5 new recipes. I'll
Easy
give you
to
my.
remember those 2
ratio.
numbers.
I'll give you my
6 and 5.
I'll give you my stuffed shells recipe. I'll give you my cacciatore
Ooh.
recipe.
Ooh.
I'll give
Right.
you a Caesar salad recipe. Okay, that's
Very
a good
cool.
one.
That's
Yeah.
3.
Let's
You
see.
come up with the other 2. It's fine.
You come up with the other 2.
All right. Yeah. I'll tell Mike.
And I'll give you the recipe for SpaghettiOs that Matt ate growing up.
Chicken cutlets, probably, and maybe
Maybe a chicken Milanese.
something.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks again for listening. God bless. Bye-bye.
And also watch me play video games at twitch.tv Fat Manderson.
What are you doing in there? Stop using my equipment.